Welcome to Exotic Cars. The 1978 Ford Focus ST in San Francisco. Oh wait, does that sound right? If you're scratching your head, you're not alone. That's because the Ford Focus ST wasn't introduced until the early 2000s. But what if we imagined a world where Ford built a high-performance Focus ST back in the late 70s? Let's take a step back and talk about what Ford was actually producing in 1978. During this time, Ford was known for cars like the Mustang II, the Pinto, and the Fairmont, practical, affordable vehicles designed for the fuel-conscious buyer. The hot hatches we know and love today, like the Focus Street, didn't exist yet. However, the closest thing to a sporty compact in Ford's lineup back then would have been the Ford Fiesta, which had just made its US debut. Now, if Ford had built a 1978 Focus Street, what would it have looked like? Picture a compact, lightweight two-door with aggressive styling, flared wheel arches, and a more powerful engine than your average economy car. Under the hood, it might have featured a high-output 2.3-liter inline-4, possibly turbocharged, pushing out around 150 horsepower. Impressive for the time. It would have had a 5-speed manual transmission, a stiffer suspension for better handling, and maybe even some racing stripes for that extra sporty touch. Inside, the cabin would have been simple but driver-focused. Think bucket seats, a 3-spoke steering wheel, and a classic analog gauge cluster. Now, let's set the scene in San Francisco. Imagine cruising down the iconic streets, tackling the steep hills with a powerful little hatchback that handles like a dream. The tight corners and winding roads would make for the perfect playground for a car like these. A quick acceleration, responsive steering, and just enough power to make every drive an adventure. Of course, this is all just a fun what-if scenario. The real Focus ST wouldn't come until decades later, bringing turbocharged power, sharp handling, and hot hatch excitement to Ford's lineup. But thinking about what could have been back in 1978 makes you appreciate how far performance compact cars have come. So, while you won't find a 1978 Focus ST on the streets of San Francisco, you can still imagine what it would have been like here. A small, sporty Ford tearing through the hills, bringing driving excitement to a whole new level. What do you think? If Ford had built a Focus ST in the late 70s, would it have been a hit? Let us know in the comments. And if you love car history, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into automotive legends.